It's not so much the way you're ending it, but it's the way you're setting it up. It still seems a little weird.
Trying to get as many fucked up sounding guitars as possible for this record. Is this too much bullshit for you to deal with?
Hey, guys.
Recording. Let's clap. Rocket. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are basking in the glow of the Siamese Dream guitars here. And we're doing top 50 Siamese Dream, top 50 Smashing Pumpkins. And we just gushed over the guitar playing on this record. Now it's time to talk about the drums. So I'm a guitar guy. James is a guitar guy. We're not drum guys. We do appreciate good drums. But for those who are drum people, this is their song. This is the song they say is Jimmy Chamberlin's peak moment. I also love the song. It is one of their most aggressive songs on the album. We are doing Geek USA. And I assume that the second I play 5 seconds of it, James will remember it. But do you know it by name?
No, I don't know it by name.
Okay.
So I was thinking about this, like, as we were doing all these songs, I'm like, man, it's starting to make a lot of sense why I liked this album so much.
Yeah.
When I first got it when I was younger, is just because of how much I enjoy just kind of the sound of the guitar as a whole.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's like, aside from just a handful of songs, I don't remember any of their names, but every time you play it like 2 seconds into the song, I'm like, this one.
That one.
I remember now.
Yes.
So I'm sure it'll be the same for this.
Yeah. So for the drums on this, my ear is more attuned in drumming. My ear is usually attuned to where the hands are hitting. Okay. Mm-hmm. But in this song, a lot of the magic is in the footwork. So, Mason and I listen to metal, so we know what the double bass pedal sounds like. But usually when metal bands do it, it's usually, it's just, they just go all out on it. Or if you're not doing a song that fast, usually the kick drum is just keeping the solid beat. Bump, bump, bump. There's not usually a lot of variation in the kick drum. That's usually consistent with the rhythm of the whole song forever. With his footwork on this, you're going to hear him play. He's doing a lot with his hands anyway, but he's doing this octopus thing where the kick drum's going to go do-do, ba-do-ba-do-ba-do, do-do, ba-do-ba-do-ba-do. So he's doing offbeat stuff with his feet and keeping the hands up, much like you would hear a normal drummer. So for drummers out there, they hear this and they just go, crown that man. That's godly. That is godly, because it is almost impossible to pull off unless you're top tier. Yeah, let's let Jimmy have his moment in the sun. I'm glad this made my top 50, so we could let Jimmy rock out. So
is it number 50? Did you just sneak it in there just so that you could have this song on the list?
I'll give it away early. It's number 43 on my list. Number 43.
So it's not really on the top 50. You just put it in there.
No, it is.
A little bit to allay suspicion, just so that you can get.
Hey. Jimmy Chamberlin's my favorite drummer. I love this damn song. But like I said with Cherub Rock, lyrically it doesn't connect as deeply as others. This is more of a psychedelic approach to the lyrics. A little bit more Gish style, a lot of visual metaphors. Geek USA, Simon's Dream.
So, a couple of things. It's kind of interesting. Like, yeah, it was, like we said, about 5 seconds into the song, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this song now.
Right, yeah.
But it's kind of interesting. You and I have pretty similar tastes, generally speaking, and this is kind of following a similar theme to where it's like, I'm not saying I don't like the song. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying at all. Yeah. But I also remember like thinking it's one of the weaker songs on Siamese Dream, right?
Yes.
You know, and it's evidenced by the fact that it's 43 on your list versus some of the other ones were like 8 and 9, right? But this time listening through it, I'm trying really hard to pay attention to the drums after what you were talking about. And as you mentioned, you know, like I'm usually not enamored by drums that much. I'm not paying attention to them as much. So I don't know, maybe I'm easily impressed, but hell yeah, I really like the drums on this. You know,
yes, yeah.
Just because it's hard to play doesn't make it good.
Yeah,
and I think that this is something that, based on what you were saying, sounds like it is difficult to play, but it also sounds really fucking good.
Really, yes,
tasteful,
skillful, and soulful, right?
Yeah.
It's that jazz background. Jazz is all about soul, right? So bringing the jazz feel to heavy rock music. But the way Jimmy does it, it's not bam, 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 bam. It's bam, bam, you know. That's with the feet, while the hands are going all over.
Yeah.
This is why. So some people say this is the best Pumpkin song, and those people are typically drummers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I can't argue with that. From your perspective, I'm sure that makes a lot of sense. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. That right there is what sells me on the song. That build up, the guitar solos, and then those lines, because so much of this album is very articulate into the struggles and all that stuff. But with this song, it's like, you know, he's throwing out so many metaphors, and then it all comes together. Words can't define what I feel inside. Who needs them? As the guitars are peaking with the drums, like, that is rock glory to me. Words can't define what I feel inside. Oh man, it's such a great anthem point, and I love it.
Yeah, so it was just kind of fun to go along for the ride, thinking about what I was gonna say next, because I was like, it's like, all right, here comes the transition. I'm gonna bitch about it, but it was like, oh,
it's short.
They handled it. I was like, hey, they handled it really well. I just didn't like how slow it got.
Yes, but then
it makes, as it builds, it makes it worth it, right?
Yes, exactly.
You know, and that whole build up is really good, and it's been so long since I've heard a lot of these songs that I've forgotten individual pieces of them. So it was kind of cool to almost hear it again for the first time, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like kind of that build up. Yeah, that build up was awesome.
Oh, we're doing that again. We're doing that
Yeah,
again.
all the way up to the that guitar solo. So I was like that was something special. It was like you had to slow it down that much to make it worth the payoff. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you couldn't go from where they were before the slowdown. And then, like I bitch about transitions all the time, but I mean they did it perfectly. Like I got nothing to complain about. Like they totally changed it up, and I didn't mind it at all. Other than the fact that at first I was like, oh, did we really have to slow it down this much?
Yeah, because it
And
goes
then
like
30 seconds
super
later,
Pink.
yeah, they did.
Yeah, it goes super Pink Floyd for a second. It's like, oh
Yeah.
man, I'm not in the mood for Dark Side of the Moon. What the hell?
Yeah.
I was rocking,
Well,
but then
that's what I like about it is
yeah.
they don't stay there very long.
No.
They stay there long enough for you to bitch about it, and then they're on their way back up.
Right. That's right.
And then again, in the end, you're like, oh, it was totally worth it.
Totally worth it. Love it. We're doing that section again. We have to. Have to. Okay, I found it. All right, we're doing that section again. We have to.
Yeah.
In a dream we are connected, Siamese twins at the wrist. And I knew we were forsaken, expelled from paradise. I can't believe it when they say it's words can't define what I feel inside. Caught with this virus on my mind, I could tonight is it. On my knees, tonight is it. On my
I don't think I've ever said this before, but I really like the drums during that guitar solo too.
I
They
know.
really add to it, man. And like,
Mm,
and-
and it's a great guitar solo too. I love the tone
yeah,
on
it
that.
is. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like that build up to that I guess I call it like the first solo. Like it's just the drums that they add so much to it. I really can't remember the last time I was like, yeah, you know what's really cool about that guitar solo? The drums that are going on. not to
Yeah.
take away from the guitar solo, which is pretty badass as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm also thinking back a little to like probably one of the reasons I didn't like this song as much when I was younger is I probably didn't, I guess, like appreciate the building up and slowing down and that dynamic as much as maybe I do now.
Yeah.
It's something that I just wasn't as interested in. So it might have been one of those things where they slow it down and I'm like, all right, next.
Next.
You know?
Yeah. I hear you. All right, let's get back to it. Wind it just a tad. God, that's a fun song.
Yeah.
I love it. Any other thoughts?
No, I think that's a good way. It's a fun song, right? I don't know. It's just.
That's number 43 on my list. And I believe we only have one more Simon's Dream song to do. And so we'll see what it is. What's next? I'm Justin. That's James. Deep Dive. Thanks, everybody.